Welcome back, Shalloners. Are you guys excited? You better get excited. Because we're going to talk about our favorite whisper goose, our mortal enemy, Selena Gomez. And not just general fuckery from her, because we've certainly covered her fuckery in the past. Don't worry, we'll recap it. But her new revelation, realization, in her own words, that she is bipolar. Now, before we get started, I just want to let you know that I'm not here to shit on people with bipolar disorder. It's a very real thing. It is a very difficult thing. It's also something that's misdiagnosed a lot. It's confused a lot of times with borderline personality disorder. We'll talk more about that. So this isn't like, everyone who has bipolar is lying. No, girl, that ain't the truth. But Selena Gomez might be. We're going to break it down because I asked you guys after this revelation came up and after she shared this on Miley Cyrus's Instagram, okay, what's the video topic here? And I thought you guys were going to be like, you know, how to deal with having a mental illness, like how to help someone. Nope. How to deal with people who won't stop lying and make excuses for bad behavior. Is this self-diagnosed? Is she even seeing professionals? I'm bipolar, and what you described in her behavior is not a sign of bipolarity. When you live for drama, how to save yourself after embarrassing yourself. Someone who uses medical and major things as an excuse for behavior and how to deal with them. Okay, the Shallontrage has spoken. We're going to get into it. But first of all, click like and subscribe. We're doing a video every single day during quarantine. I'm pumping it all out. We're talking about celebs. We're talking about self-care. We're talking about psychology, all the stuff we break down here on this channel. Also follow me on Instagram at shallonxo, where, like I said, I let you guys pick this next video topic and vote. I love it when you weigh in, mostly because I just kind of get overwhelmed and sometimes I can't think of a topic and you guys are such little geniuses. It's really super helpful. Also, be sure to listen to my podcast, Girl on Top, out every week, every place podcasts are found. And if you would like a video shout out for a friend who's maybe celebrating a birthday or something during this weird quarantine, find me on Cameo at shallonxo as well. All right, so let's get into this Selena thing. But first of all, First of all, let's just recap how YouTube works, right? Because who's here right now? Selena stands the lowest common denominator of society. Everyone has celebrities that they like. I do too. You know I love Hailey Baldwin, which is probably informing my opinion of Selena Gomez. But to stan someone is sad and weird. It's sad and weird to live and die for a celebrity who doesn't know or care if you live or die, right? And Selena Gomez definitely doesn't. I can pretty much stake my claim on that she doesn't care about you because she doesn't seem to care about herself. She doesn't seem to care about her health, about her reputation, and about her future. And her behavior points to that. But we're going to talk about your behavior real quick. How YouTube works is that no matter what you comment on this video, whether you thumbs up it or whether you thumbs down it, YouTube views that as a word called engagement. And that means, oh my gosh, beep, boop, boop, boop. The YouTube algorithm says a lot of people are interacting with this video. So we're going to prioritize it. It's going to pop up in search results a lot faster. So when you leave a comment saying, I'm a bitch, you hope I die in a fire. First of all, comments make me money. I make money on every single comment that's posted. Do you know that? That's true. And also, all you're doing is telling YouTube, hey, this video is getting a lot of views. So you're making me money in that sense too. And guess what? Instagram works the exact same way. Every DM, every comment, every time you even report a video for no reason, that puts a ping on your account because Instagram and YouTube says, okay, this person's full of shit. They're reporting something that isn't offensive. And so we're not going to listen to them anytime they report something. You become the girl who cried wolf. So keep it up. Keep making me money. Speaking of people who cried wolf, Selena. So we've talked about Selena so much in this channel, and here we call her the whisper goose because that's what she sounds like when she sings, I'm gonna be good to her. Just, is she gonna come chasing me? I don't know. Like, geese are they're frightening animals. And I think I'd rather fight Selena Gomez than a goose. Because geese have that dew claw, right there. They can swipe. Selena doesn't have that. She just has a bunch of bad tattoos. So Selena, like I said, she has been talking on Miley Cyrus's Instagram interview series that she's doing, which is really cute, and said that she recently realized she was bipolar.
Recently, I went to one of the best mental hospitals in the world, but definitely in America, McLean's Hospital. And I discussed that after years of going through a lot of different things, I realized that I was bipolar. And so when I go to know more information, it actually helps me. It doesn't scare me once I know it. And I think
Yeah.
people get scared of that, right?
I recently realized I'm bipolar. Realized, realized. Did you go to medical school, Selena? I didn't realize that you were actually a rheumatologist or a psychiatrist. I thought you were a pop star. Did you go to the Mickey Mouse Club School of Medicine? I don't think so. Her wording was very strange. And people are saying, no, she was at a clinic. She prefaced that with, I was at a clinic for mental health and I realized I'm bipolar. I think that's an exceedingly strange way of phrasing something. The correct phrase would be, I was diagnosed as bipolar. My doctors told me I was bipolar. So right there, that wording is extremely significant. I'm a word person and I choose my words carefully and I don't repeat myself. And to choose that phrasing so off the cuff tells me that that is probably how she views this. And you know what? Maybe she has been diagnosed as bipolar. Maybe she is or not. I actually don't know if she is. I don't know. We're going to talk about it a little bit more. But it's so strange how she phrased that. And to me, that was the first red flag. And I know so many of you guys DM me that. You're like, realize, like, what? Like, what is she basing this on? So we've got that data point. But in order to understand why she decided to share this now, the timing of this is so significant and peculiar to me, we got to rewind it. We got to take things back a few years, right? Because the reason I don't like Selena Gomez is because she's a liar. She's a liar. I don't like liars. I am fine with people who make mistakes, people who own up to their mistakes, people who don't have it all figured out. Who the hell does? I am not fine with someone who gaslights other people. And that's what Selena Gomez does. Okay? She gaslights her fans, she gaslights the media, and she gaslights the people in her life. People like Francia Reza. I always pronounce her name like that because that's how Francia pronounces it. And I don't know how to say it without that accent. So I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. 2017, Selena Gomez, who suffers from lupus, an autoimmune disease, had to go through a kidney transplant. Well, had to is perhaps a generous term. She did go through a kidney transplant, I believe, because of the way she had been living her life precipitated this kind of medical event, right? I'll talk about that in a second. Francia was kind enough to give her kidney. She probably got paid for it, whatever. She sold her kidney. You can sell whatever body parts you want to. I don't really care. People donate their eggs. They sell them, actually. People donate sperm and blood. Do you get paid for donating blood? I know you get a cookie and some apple juice. I do not like apple juice. What? Don't come at me with your apple juice. Ridiculous. So she gave Selena a kidney. And then after that, we have all seen, and I've done videos on this, the complete dissolution of their friendship. To the point that Selena Gomez, in an interview, she was talking about her new song or her album Rare, and she got a tattoo for that. And she said she had also gotten the date of her kidney transplant. And what she said was, I actually got the date of when I got my kidney transplant, she said during the interview. This was with a radio station, Capital FM. And this was in January. This was very recently. And I did that with the girl that gave me her kidney. The girl that gave me her kidney. The girl that gave me her kidney. Do you mean Francia Reza? Do you mean the girl you referred to as my best friend? Oh my God, the light of my life. Thank you for this blessing. Now she's the girl, that girl. Would you ever refer to first of all, to your friend as the girl? Oh yeah, I went to brunch with the girl that I'm living with. They're like, do you mean your friend Kristen? What? It's a very strange turn of phrase. Once again, we see very strange wording from Selena. Would you also refer to the person who saved your fucking life as the girl? The girl who gave me your kidney? That's how I describe a girl who gave me a tampon in a club bathroom. Yeah, the girl who gave me a tampon. The girl who gave me the hair tie off her wrist. The girl who gave me that bump of cocaine. I don't do cocaine, it's just a joke. But like, You use those terms, the girl, that girl, for someone you don't know. You are divorcing yourself through your words from that person and you. Why? Because you need to divorce yourself from your responsibility to them, from your obligation and your repayment of their gift, their life-saving gift. So, wait, what does Selena have to, why would she have to do that? Because Homegirl keeps drinking. Homegirl keeps drinking. Now, there's a channel, I don't think I can embed the video. I'll link to the video. I'll put it right up here. But it's this exposing tea channel or something, and they did a whole compilation of all the times Selena Gomez has been drunk in public. Well, actually, probably not all of them, just the most notable ones. And they kicked it off with the American Music Awards last year. Do you remember that? I mean, Whisper Goose was at her finest, her pitchiest, her goosiest on stage, trying to sing, "You should love me," and it was panned, it was off key. And then sources, said that, oh, she had a panic attack backstage. She had a panic attack. If you look at this video, if you look at this channel, she's stumbling on the red carpet. She's in the audience, like making these weird faces, clapping. And on stage, she didn't look sober. This is the gaslighting. And I'm so sick of this. And when I was younger, before I was like an adult and before I lived in New York City and I was around people who were on drugs or alcohol or something like that, I would have believed this too. You know, I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know what data added up to. I do now, okay? And that's why people like her make me so fucking mad, is because they make you think you're going crazy for noticing what you're noticing. If I saw that person, if I saw Selena Gomez, if you took her out of the AMAs and dropped her into a Trader Joe's and she was acting like that, I'd call security. I was like, can you get her away from the cauliflower gnocchi? She is drunk. I don't want her touching the cauliflower gnocchi with her drunk little child paws. There's a drunk 9-year-old in a bunch of makeup and heels in a BB dress staggering around Trader Joe's. I want her out of here. So I don't appreciate that kind of behavior. I don't appreciate the lies, because some people actually do have panic attacks. And maybe she did have a panic attack. Maybe she was like, holy shit, I'm drunk at the AMAs. I can't go on. And they're like, you're fucking going to, right? I've also heard, I've never had a full-blown panic attack, but I've heard that after you have one, the exhaustion you feel is like, they literally say it's on par with someone who ran a marathon. Like, you don't have it in you to go and do these things. You're just catatonic. I don't know though. So if you guys have suffered panic attacks, tell me your experience. I'm really sorry that you have. It's awful. Oh, but that's not her only instance of being drunk in public. It's happened many other times before. She's staggering around. She has to be carried out of things. And I know what you're thinking, like, okay, well, she's young and she's a celebrity. She's allowed to drink. Girl, I agree. We're all allowed to drink and stagger around. This is America. Stay away from my cauliflower gnocchi. But when you have lupus, this is the problem. Lupus affects how your organs process things. It's an autoimmune disease, and it means there's a lot of inflammation. It's very technical, but it affects your liver and it affects your kidneys. And what gets processed through your liver and your kidneys? Alcohol, right? Alcohol. I've told you before that one of my friends is an ER doctor, and he said, when I see someone come in who has lupus and they've got kidney failure, 100 times out of 100, it's alcohol or cocaine. 100 times out of 100. I was like, fuck. That's just his one experience, okay? But we do know that Selena has an issue with alcohol. And she started ramping up her drinking after her kidney transplant, after her friend who probably heard, oh my gosh, I'm changed, I'm healthy, I'm committed to living. And then she gives her this kidney. I don't care how much she got paid for it. You're giving a vital organ and you might need those things someday, right? And there's no take-backsies. And then she sees her friend drinking again. And Selena even said in an interview, yeah, I have a glass of wine when I want. It's my life. No, sweetheart. It's Francia Race's life that she gave to you so that you could live. Remember that. Because Selena was spotted doing shots at the Four Seasons Hotel. I actually worked for the company that broke this story at the time. I know exactly who the source was. It was a photographer. They weren't lying. They were right, okay? I know them personally. They have no reason to lie. It's not even like they got photos that they could sell. It was just, hey, this is what I saw. She was downing shots. When? Right after Justin and Hailey's engagement. Oh, shit. Funny how those things coincide. Funny how, if someone was going to go off the deep end, it would probably be after your ex-boyfriend got engaged. So now we're caught up, right? I mean, there's plenty of other fuckery, like her insistence upon working with I almost said Willie Nelson. Leave Willie Nelson out of this. Woody Allen, that even her mom said, I had a long talk with her about not working with him and it just didn't click. Her mother said this in an Instagram comment. So this adds up to me that this person has not a lot of self-awareness and zero responsibility. And when she sets her mind to do something, she's just going to do it, and not in a positive way. Not in a, I'm going to put a man on the moon. Nope. I'm going to put my hands on some cauliflower gnocchi. So now we're caught up, right? And we're talking about what she did with this Miley Cyrus conversation, why she did it. Because right before this, do you know what she was doing? Being an idiot on the internet, specifically on Instagram. She was liking and unliking shirtless photos of Justin Bieber on like a fan account and a picture of her and Justin Bieber on a fan account. Like, is there anything more embarrassing than getting caught unliking something? Although sometimes I do it out of spite. Like one of my friends, one of her friends is like, I hate her. Like I've hated her since high school. I hate her. I physically will fight her. And I'll like automatically like a picture that my friend posts. And if I see that bitch is in it, I'll unlike it. And then I'll text her or call her, be like, I unlike that photo because she's in it. Petty. But Selena doesn't seem to be doing this for any other reason than just pure embarrassment. And then she did something worse. She decided to post. No one asked her. Literally no one asked. Not a single soul. Like, hey, what are some of your favorite books and movies and songs and stuff right now? So this dummy decides to post for music all these songs, including Snow Child by The Weeknd. Her ex. Snow Child? Out of all the songs in that album, we just did a video on this about how it's just like his big ode to Bella Hadid and regret over their relationship and his behavior. And I want them to get back together. Of all the songs in that album, Snow Child is by far the most specifically about Bella. The other ones, maybe Selena could be like, okay, yeah, I guess that could be about me. Girl, Snow Child isn't. It references specific things from his relationship. Coachella, Tribeca. It has Bella's laugh in the background. And for her to be like, my favorite song is a song that my ex did about the girl he actually loved when he was dating me just to distract him until they got back together. Where is your dignity, sweetheart? Like, I get you're probably hurt over that or wounded or something. This ain't it. Then she doubled down. It got so much worse. For movies, Invisible Man, Jennifer's Body, American Hustle, Uncut Gems, that The Weeknd is also in. Selena, I could probably help you. I'm not going to because you annoy me and bore me at the same time, which is a deadly combination. So I can't help but find it very coincidental that right after she wiles out like this on Instagram, I mean, this shit's still up, she hasn't had any sort of self-awareness to be like, that's probably dumb because, I mean, what's the point? Like you delete it, everyone's seen it anyway. You're going to look worse if you delete it, right? It's like, just kidding. I don't like that song. I don't care about The Weeknd. Oh, and by the way, just in case like Selena maybe thought that some of this album was about her, I love how The Weeknd then released the deluxe edition with like 2 songs that were like, Missed You and Final Lullaby that are just like, please Bella, take me back. Like, no question who he loves. No question whatsoever. I love the album. It's so good. I want them to get back together. Selena, and I understand how Selena feels like she's almost Good Luck Chuck. The Weeknd dated her, dumped her, got back together with Bella. Justin Bieber dated her again, dumped her, got back with Hailey and married her. And I've been there. We have all been there. And it's an ugly, terrible place. But this isn't it. And so I think it's very interesting that right after this, suddenly she's bipolar. She's realized she's bipolar. So this brings us to our point. How do you deal with people who do this shit? How do you deal with people who always have an excuse for why they're acting the way they are? But that excuse never involves responsibility. It never involves personal accountability. It never involves, you know what? I acted like that because I was an asshole. Nope. It was, I was acting like this because I had lupus. And then it was alcohol, and then it was a panic attack, and then it was anxiety, and then it was bipolar. What's next? You an Iraq war veteran? What's going on? Are you on the front lines of the coronavirus? Where's the bottom of this, girl? And this is what bothers me, because a lot of people really are struggling with their mental health. It is not a joke. It is as real as cancer, and it deserves just as much, if not more, attention, right? If your mind isn't in a healthy place, ain't nothing in a healthy place. And it's awful that people like her are using it as an excuse for bad behavior, tacitly or overtly. And I'm not even saying that she doesn't necessarily have bipolar disorder. Although, let's go over what because I got a ton of DMs from you guys, a ton, saying I actually have it, and her behavior, that it doesn't strike me as bipolar. Like, and look, I don't know what she's like behind the scenes. She's a pretty private person, and we don't see her out and about the way we saw Britney Spears, who is kind of the poster child for bipolar disorder. I mean, we saw it. So, okay, let's talk about what bipolar is, and then you'll understand. You're like, oh yeah, that's Britney. Okay. I fucking hate this thing. So there's two types of bipolar disorder. There's bipolar 1 and bipolar 2. And bipolar used to be called manic depression. And I almost like that name better because I felt like it was more descriptive, like you have these episodes of mania, which include abnormally upbeat, jumpy, or wired, increased activity, energy, or agitation, exaggerated sense of well-being and self-confidence, euphoria in a way, decreased need for sleep, you're just up, talkative, racing thoughts, distractibility, poor decision making. Okay, well, you know what? She's there. So that typifies the mania. And manic phases can last for months or even years. They can last a really, really long time, as can the flip side, depression. So it's mania, depression. And type 2 bipolar disorder means you've never had a manic episode. You've only had the depression, which is interesting because a lot of people, I mean, if you've only ever had depression, yeah, you might just think, well, I'm depressed. And therefore, depression medicine might not work very well on you. And a lot of times, maybe not a lot of times, but it can happen that bipolar disorder is confused with borderline personality disorder. And they're different because one is the brain and one is, as it says, personality. Bipolar is a brain situation. And there's other factors that affect it, trauma, upbringing, stuff like that. Drug use can exacerbate it. And it can be greatly helped with medication, Borderline personality disorder is just that, it's a personality disorder, and there's no cool pill. Borderline personality disorder happens, it's an attachment disorder that happens very frequently when you have a narcissistic parent or an inappropriate attachment, like your parent was absentee and they're here and they're there, they're gone. Maybe you were a foster kid and you never really had this stable environment. And so you attach, it feels very manic, right? The highs are high, the lows are low. You can be very clingy, you can be very intense, you react disproportionately. And so if you aren't aware of your own psychological history and the parent situation, stuff like that, you might not know what you're dealing with, and doctors might not either, I'm not a doctor, and I don't know Selena Gomez. I haven't seen stuff that seems bipolar, but she's not out and about enough, so who knows? But like I said, Britney Spears, if you look at her during her 2007 meltdown, I mean, Yeah, she was like laughing and shopping and blah, blah, blah. And then she was like crying with her dog and wandering around. It was very textbook, and it was very easy to see that there was something not healthy and not right going on. And, you know, people like free Britney, like her conservatorship like saved her life. Someone who didn't have that was Brittany Murphy, right? I think she had some serious mental health issues, and instead of, you know, the benefit of a conservatorship, she had a psycho husband who made it worse. It's just, son of a bitch. Selena, though, to me, based on what we've seen of her behavior, is just a run-of-the-mill asshole. Honestly, I would love, and I'm sure she would love, if there was a tidy little diagnosis we could just put a bow on. Because when there is, you get a pass, right? What do we say all the time that a manipulative person wants? Pity. Pity is a very useful feeling for someone to engender in others. Have you ever called someone in a wheelchair an asshole? Me neither. You pity them, so you're nice to them. You give them a pass. When a fuckboy comes to us with a sob story about, oh, my heart's been broken before, what do we feel? We feel pity. Oh, I can't just put up boundaries and look out for myself. He's been hurt. Girl, wake up. Pity makes us soft. It gives people the benefit of the doubt. And so Selena Gomez might be annoying, but she's not dumb. And she knows that. Celebrities always seem to know this. We always hear this from celebrities. I have Lyme disease. I checked into the hospital for exhaustion. What? Check into a hotel. And we're all like, oh, okay. And it just, again, it's gaslighting. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And I know we have people like this in our lives, right? So if you're dealing with a Selena who always has some sad story, whether it's I'm bipolar or my heart's broken or I'm anxious in quarantine, for whatever their shitty behavior is, my advice is to run. It's just to run. Why do you need this person in your life? And I know what you're thinking. Well, they're not all bad. That might be one thing you're thinking. They're not all bad. That's true. You know who wasn't all bad? Hitler. He was a delight at parties. I say this all the time. He loved animals. He was a very good artist. The worst people among us still have their good side. And they can. And this is what's difficult. We look at our exes and it's like, I loved you and you were so supportive and you were there for me, but you literally flew to like Africa with another girl and went on vacation. Like, what? We can't stand that duality. So we either have to accept someone all in and be like, well, this is just how it is, or we accept them all out. And I'm in favor of the all out approach. We need to protect our peace. And during this quarantine, I think that's become more apparent than ever. We're anxious. We feel trapped. Financially, we're in a weird place. Scholastically, we're in a weird place. Like, are we graduating? What are we doing? We don't know what the future holds for us as individuals or for the world in general. And so we have to look, it's like, who's giving me a sense of peace? Who's contributing positively to my life? And who always has some fucking excuse for why they were flirting with my boyfriend, why they borrowed my car and dented it, why this, why that, why whatever. And the other thing you might be thinking is, okay, well, the person who's like this is in my family. I can't get away from them. I understand that. And right now, you might physically not be able to get away from them. They could be in the other room, right? That's true. But know that this is a season. This is a season. We will not be in quarantine forever. We just won't, right? Eventually, this is going to end. And when it does, I want all of you to hit the ground running. I want you to be ready, like coiled like a tiger or a viper, ready to strike out at what you want. And I mean this in a positive way, not like just ready to strike at your enemies. Like, why wait? Just do it now. Strike at the life you want, the career you want, the travel plans you want to make, the friendships you want to forge, the kind of relationship you want, the growth and the self-awareness, because that's what you've been doing. That's what you've been doing behind the scenes, right? You haven't just been laying and watching my videos and eating. Watch the videos, and you know what, eat. You've been leveling up, which these videos are. And part of this is boundary setting. If you have someone in your life where it's like, you know what, she's fun to go out with, that's fine. And when she acts like an asshole at the bar and she gets too drunk, we have to carry her out, it's a sob story of, well, my mom was an alcoholic and I just don't know. I, as you have probably noticed through this video, am a rather inelastic person. You know, I have my boundaries, but I do try to keep my boundaries flexible, you know, when new data and new feedback comes in. You know, life is not about being rigid and it's not about being overly elastic. This is our work as people, is to find that healthy balance between rigidity and spinelessness, you know, where we just feel taken advantage of. I have very, very little tolerance for excuses. I have very little tolerance. I want to hear self-awareness. I want to hear the truth where it's like, I drink because I'm sad and that's why I lash out and I don't know what to do. Then we can work with that. I can work with that. I can't work with, I'm not drinking. Fuck, you know what? Fuck you. Okay. I go to pick you up in the Uber. You are clearly blacked out already. You've had 2 bottles of wine at your house and I'm the idiot and I'm the jerk for not seeing what I'm seeing. What? Okay? I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that the reason you can't hold yourself accountable is because you have an autoimmune disease and you're lying about being in rehab and maybe you're there for chemo, maybe you're there for alcohol, maybe it's for panic attacks, maybe it's for bipolar disorder. What? At least keep a notebook with all of your lies in it, right? Keep a notebook, a lie concierge, if you will. So I don't have a tolerance for people who are not interested in self-awareness or growth, because those people are going to, you know what they are? They're emotional terrorists, because what they want to do is act however they want, and you have to deal with it. And if you don't deal with it, you're putting down my mental health. You're shaming someone who has a medical condition. No, baby girl, I'm seeing the truth and I'm calling you on your shit. And look, if I'm wrong, why are you so triggered? I'm just wrong. Okay, you're wrong. People make deductions about me on the internet and in real life all the time. And one thing I get a lot is I'm a rich bitch whose family handed her everything, which is so strange. And I'm like, okay, I grew up with a single mom, but all right. But that's exactly how I deal with it. I'm like, okay, that doesn't trigger me. Things that do trigger me, like sometimes it's because they're true sometimes, you know, and it's my life's work to pull back and be like, okay, well, why does this gas me up so bad? You know, like why? And Selena doesn't seem to be interested in doing that. And you might be dealing with someone who also is similarly uninterested in taking any responsibility for their behavior. So I think you could sit them down and you could call them out once or twice. You can be like, you know what? I understand maybe you're dealing with some mental health issues. I get that. What I don't get is either why you're not in therapy, why you're not taking your medicine, and why you seem to have decided you are a passenger in this out of control car. The car's swerving. I will give you that. But you still have some control over your life, right? You decided to order those 3 double vodka sodas. You decided to get out your phone and text your ex-boyfriend. I'm not saying the decision not to do that would have been easy, but it was still a decision. And when you choose a behavior, you choose the consequences. The consequence is I don't want to stand near this anymore. I don't need a front row seat to the circus. I need to protect my peace. And when you decide that the path you're on, that you truly want it to be of peace and awareness and growth and responsibility, and remember, growth is painful. That's why we call it growing pains. I will be here for you. I will walk that path with you, girl. But until then, I don't need this. And this person is going to lash the fuck out at you. They are going to call you an abandoner. They're going to call you, you're shaming me. You're shaming me. I am shaming you. You should feel ashamed of yourself if you can't take responsibility for your own actions. If everything is always the fault of the rest of the world, either we're lying, we're just all hive mind lying about you, Selena Gomez, to what possible end? Or you're actually the common denominator. We're either all lying, or we're not seeing what we're seeing, or nothing's actually your fault. You should feel a little bit ashamed of yourself, because you could live a better life than this. You could live a life of awareness, a life of growth, and you know what? Maybe Selena Gomez is. Maybe behind the scenes, she has a very legitimate diagnosis and she's really been hitting it hard in therapy and she's not drinking. I hope that that's true. I hope that's true for her, right? The more healthy and whole and happy people there are on planet Earth, great, the better we're all gonna do. But this video isn't about Selena. It's about us, and it's about the people who are in your life and the people who you have a divine animal right to protect yourself from. Even if that person is a parent, even if that person's a best friend, even if it's a spouse. There is no person, there is no relationship in your life that should have a price tag that reads, your sanity. That's the price of admission. You want this person in your life? Sorry, it's going to cost you your own sanity. It's going to cost you your peace, your happiness. It's going to cost you your future. How does that sound? We're not put here for this. We're not put here for this. So use this time in quarantine to think about your boundaries. I have a ton of video on boundaries. Maybe I'll make a playlist. And think like, what excuses am I no longer going to accept? And where does a valid reason and a valid impetus end and an excuse begin? And just like they have the right to decide their behavior and whatever excuse they give to it, you have the right to decide what you want to tolerate. Even if someone is legitimately mentally ill, you still have the right to be like, I can't handle this in my life. I don't know how to deal with it. It's affecting my life in a negative way. You have the right to do that. And you can release people with love, and it doesn't have to come with shame. It's like, you're crazy and I don't like you. Don't fucking do that, okay? Don't do that. But you have the right to say, you know what? It's a chaotic relationship. It's eroding me. Clearly, it can't be helpful for you. Like, we don't have a friendship anymore. So let's wait until one of us is in a place where we can handle this relationship. Either you're further into therapy, I'm further into my own emotional journey of discovery, and I feel like my boundaries are stronger and I can like figure out the doses of our friendship that works better. Or you can just say, no thanks. You can simply opt out of a relationship with someone who is not exhibiting any growth or self-awareness, and it's starting to erode you as a result. I give you permission. I want to know what you guys think about this. Like I said, on Instagram, when you guys messaged me about this, it was overwhelmingly that you just like could not stand Selena and just wanted me to drag her. So, you know, hopefully she's on a road to recovery. I don't care. Team Hailey. For more, click like and subscribe. New videos every single day on here. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow.